Hello, everybody. We are here, Speedgaming Live 2023. This is a Link to the Past randomizer semifinals. I am so excited for our two runners. Hey, look, we have people waving behind us. If you're behind us, can you give us a wave or like a hello or anything?
You are so friendly.
I try to be friendly. Hello, everyone. I'm Wallkicks. I am joined by Sinak and Zafikel on comms. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. It's day 4 of Speedgaming Live. We are at the very end of the run here. It's been exciting. I'm looking forward to see who is our champion of Speedgaming Live 2023. We've got 3 matches in a row. We've got first semifinal between Megawatt and ObscureLifeForm, and then we have Area versus Ninjembro, right?
Yes.
After that, and then at 4 o'clock, we will have our grand finals between the winners of each of those matches.
Oh my!
And this will be a wrap.
Wow, that's insane. I mean, this has been such a fun weekend and everything. Like I'm looking forward. And these are 2 amazing runners.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like so, OLF coming in, knocking out Dante in round of 16. Oh, never mind. We're off. We're good to go.
You can keep going. This is casual boots. We've got about 5 minutes of what they're going to be doing the same thing.
In case y'all haven't seen this, by the way, this is we're starting in the house. Oh baby. But yeah, so OLF took out Dante, and then I believe there was that same group matchup with Willard to get to this point. Megawatt had Scary Olive and then took out what some would say would probably be a favorite. Yeah, with Gem, and a completely, like, that was a fun, chaotic game. So, but I mean, like, that's the mode, right? Like, it is, I think Telethar was saying 3 decisions, you pick one, and you're good to go. So
yeah, and I mean, already we're seeing, we're lockstep in, and like usually these first few seconds, some of the runners you might already see a little bit of divergent or like a little bit of different how they movement, but no, both runners are off, and we got 6 bombs already.
Yeah, 6 bombs, the 2 magic pot versus the 1 magic pot. So we are gaming.
Are we going to be battling to see who gets out of escape first?
Oh no, I can't. I'm not about to subscribe to the House of the 505 or the 455 actually. So.
They're 2 very big differences.
There in fact, that is 10 seconds of difference, Wally. You're making me do math a little bit earlier than I thought. Yeah.
I'm proud of you. We are well known in this community for knowing how to math. Front of escape, by the way, for those of you who play NMG or know Link to the Past, this is kind of your basic usual start. Wow, Master Sword. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I say, Sinek, when you see a Master Sword, is it like, oh, are the Aga bells already ringing?
It's definitely a flag of some kind, I would say.
Like at this point, if you're a runner, like maybe you're thinking, okay, we're in the semifinals. Do I really want to take the time to look at what's behind Lumberjack at this point? Mm-hmm. And
just pass. Who needs magic right now anyway?
We don't need magic, but like sometimes. Oh my God!
What is this? You could just see the smiles on both those runners' faces right there. It's like. Are we going to see a gold sword before we leave here?
Laughing for tempered?
If we see a gold sword, we might need to re-roll because then something went wrong.
Perhaps.
Because, I mean, in this mode, we only get up to tempered. We're not supposed to be getting
that's right. Yeah, that tells you just how out of touch I am right now.
So this isn't your usual casual boots mode. This is kind of a sort of a, oh my, what are we doing with this seed?
What is
those flippers?
Yo, someone call Southwest. We lost a jet somewhere. Like, this is going to be bonkers.
All right, tempered and flippers already. So, like, for our runner's sake, you think of, like, what are some of the loadouts that you get for, like, an AGA 1 seed? And flippers tends to be a big indicator because flippers can get you up towards North Dark World, which can give you maybe hookshot over or whatever. But, like, man, this is such an early start of good items.
I'd have to agree. Like, it's a sword and 3 swords, right? Like,
and like you don't normally expect swords early on, and so for our runners, like you said, tempered sword is what you normally see in most NMG runs,
right.
And so for these runners who are both amazing at what they do, this is going to make it very simple, very easy in terms of like usually your bosses, because like if you're going into Helmasaur King, Mothula with only a fighter sword, you're looking at a little bit more of a difficult fight, but with tempered sword, you're you're usually pretty happy.
Right,
with
like
what you got.
combat at this point's been solved. At
Yeah.
this point, it's literally just where do I go, right?
Yeah.
Like what are my major progression items? And again, like you said, we have the flippers, so at any point, like it'd be very quickly too to see if runners sort of cut routes and say, okay, you know what, like I'm going to shoot for something aggressive because in the event that it is just a hook shot, like in a Moon Pearl, someone could take that and go. Like obviously, again, like they're we are in Kaz boots. There is the potential. Like I said, we already have items. So it'd be very curious to see if we, and luckily and hopefully we do get a divergence point like that where some runner is going to take the chance and go.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if any runner's going to do that, it's probably going to be OLF. Like, kind of talking about these two runners, like, OLF is a main tournament champion. He won, I think, last year, 2022, and he's always performed well in tournament modes, especially. I think he's gotten, like, consistently third or second in SGL. And so, you know he's a name that is a force to be reckoned with, and his play style kind of shows it, because, like, he kind of plays a little chaotically. Like, he's not afraid to go into, like, hookless swamp if he thinks his opponent might not do it.
but on the other side, we have Megawott, who, I mean, you would say you're on the Fentrona Drifters. Okay, baby.
All right. I mean, all right.
We're
I mean, I'm not gonna call the seed free, but
I mean,
like
we got to keep the health low now. Like, you can't let these runners get more than like 5 hearts. You gotta spook them a little bit. Too.
yeah, we'll make sure they all stay in GT there. Yeah.
All right, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. I appreciate that, Sinek.
We'll just kind of do some things after the fact, right?
oh God.
The seed has already been generated.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna do some back end stuff real quick. Nice.
all right. So we have our mushroom.
And suddenly crowd control.
What a loaded escape.
Yeah.
Absolutely loaded.
So if you're either Obscure or Megawatt, are you checking Lumberjack at this
yeah,
point, knowing that
you
you
have
have?
to.
Well, you
Okay,
say that,
well, I
and
say-
Obscure not only says no to Lumberjack, but is
hoping
saying
he'd say
no
no
to
to
Bonk Rocks too.
All right.
All right.
So $5. All right.
Okay, so as we said, Obscure was a little bit chaotic and erratic. Yeah, my guy just skipped regions of the. Oh, he actually may be routing up and over, and then.
Okay.
Like,
But we don't have a glove. Oh, we have flippers. So like, is he just gonna kind of combo this into
he'll
like
combo
Ice Rod
this into
Cave?
Ice Rod Cave. We have bombs, right? So like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Lost Woods Water Walk. Just you have the flippers. It's doofy. I mean, it's not doofy. It'd be an interesting adjustment on the fly, which I would kind of like to see.
Yeah.
No.
And this is the kind of routing that like it can be a little bit difficult to think about when you're in like a live setting. Like these two runners are sitting up here, not in their usual setup, and so like stuff like this can be a little bit difficult to almost think about.
Yeah, like you've got, so just for the context for those at home, they've got earbuds in that has their game audio, and then they've got these headphones over them that's piping in all this white noise so that they can't really hear anything, or that's at least the theory. So that can, if you're not used to that type of setup, that can be pretty distracting in and of itself.
Yeah.
I've not personally done it. I know.
I say
Yeah.
I was on the stream at the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the white noise completely blanks out the ability to hear anything, and like usually, you're just too focused on the game, you don't really see what the crowd reaction is. But like, you can sometimes some runners, you might see like, oh, we all jump up, and everyone is like,
Yep. It's.
But no, they're too focused on the game. They're not looking at like context clues for what chat is giving them. But yeah, this is just such a fun event, and it's such a different, unique kind of tournament that you see runners who maybe you might not think we're in top 16, but all these runners are top tier quality for sure.
Yeah, we were talking too about how we got to this point as well. We had both these are actually the play-in race. So that I think OLF actually took the first spot and Megawatt took the last spot.
Yes, I believe that's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So
There were 7 spots up for grabs. 2 came from Group J. Obscure was.
I don't think
No. He wasn't in Group J. No.
I think Obscure was in one of the groups that had the like 3, 2, and 2 second place finishes. So like,
Yes. Yeah,
so,
that's
like
right.
he had to not only play well enough to qualify, but like there was the second kind of secondary set of you had to beat the 2 people who are also in that tiebreaker because only 2 people per group advance or whatever.
Yeah, it was quite the road.
Yeah.
The first 2 days of SGL are really.
magic. Now
We have. All right. Yep. Good. So the schedule for SGL. Oh, all right.
All right,
Interesting.
y'all. It's just a glove. Y'all see it.
Yeah.
Y'all clap for tempered and ooh for a glove. Like it's light world, y'all.
But like speaking of some of the stuff that we have got, Megawatt kind of saving and quitting after doing the Lost Woods was able to pick up the Moon Pearl. Was able to pick up the glove that I usually got. I don't think OLF has really found much in Kakariko. Did get a shovel, so we'll probably see where that goes. Oh.
Okay. Now
All
you
right.
can. Now.
Okay.
Oh, and there was another ooh. Did you see his own race
I
game?
can't read. What was there?
It was a hammer.
Okay. Well, ooh.
Thank you.
Ooh. So, the scary thing about these front-loaded seeds, right, is you could really run into bottle. Are we gonna ooh for everything back there?
Ooh for everything, crowd. Like,
I mean, I'm here for it, but still,
yeah, Yo, 6 seconds. Just gonna.
So I actually was going to ask real quick, but I guess you probably wouldn't. Would you have actually done Waterfall Ferry into Hobo there and then come back with money, or you at least want to get the peek in because you have flippers?
I mean, I don't think there's either a wrong play. Like, I think Megawott is doing a little bit of a hedging, maybe seeing if there's enough money on Hobo to get
That's fair.
to get Zora money. But with that bottle, he's going to be able to throw it in and see what our
Right, yeah.
see what our fairy gives us. Hey, more bombs.
All right, powder. All right,
So dead.
and then, all right, that's a red refill. That's actually pretty helpful.
It's absolute.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge fan of donating to the local economy when I have when I'm in these seeds. Like if I have a little bit of extra money that I can get to Fleetu, like I
Back there.
all right, yeah. So like you'll take bottles, right? Because so we actually didn't really talk a little bit about what this mode entails. So like we have an modified item pool, modified item pool.
Modified. Yep.
Learn where is my coffee. So we have more heart pieces in the pool. Bottles come empty.
And there's only 2 of them.
And there's only 2 of them. Bottles on empty, but anyway. And then, so we max out at Blue Mail, Tempered Sword, and then of course, like as I'm sitting here like rooting for magic because like we don't get half magic.
True.
Correct.
So
You will know where half magic is because it becomes in the form of small decanter.
which
Yes.
is absolutely spitting in my face, which is very unkind of the YAML to do such a thing to me. But yeah, no. So, but I think that's all of the major differences. I mean,
Did you hit on the heart containers and heart pieces?
a little bit.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think people, if they've seen the variations on like the SGL, the open, I think it's Open Plus has the same thing, but like or even the main tourney, like the more heart pieces, fewer heart containers. So theoretically, you can end up with roughly the same hearts, and it's almost like more convenient sometimes, right? Because like if you're trying to do the math, I'm like, all right, well, I'll, grab a hard piece or hope for a hard piece, but
More opportunities for refills from getting 4. Yep. So there's a little bit of trade-off for that. The player's probably going to maybe see 10-ish hearts by the end of the seed, roughly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think
Yeah.
I maxed out at 10. Like that was my highest in all the seats I played, 10 or 11. So.
It kind of smooths out like the progression curve on your hearts.
Yeah. Because that way you're not just like floating through the sea towards the end game with 16 hearts, gold, mail, silvers, and like you're kind of breezing. We did want to present a little bit of a challenge to our runners because this is a challenge. This is meant to be a challenging event. There's cash money on the line. Like
speaking of which, well, there's
That
20,
is very
but
cash money.
very cash money. We got almost $3,000 for the
that's
prize pool.
amazing.
Yeah, that's. I'll have to go and look up what the final number here is. I don't have the numbers for the splits for the semifinals and finals winners, but you might be able to get that here in a moment.
But also prestige and trophies.
Yes.
Even third place gets a trophy.
I would say, yeah, third place gets this wonderful trophy that Sinek is holding up.
Yeah.
Everybody feel the trophy.
Yeah,
feel the trophy.
Hold on to it, touch the trophy.
Touch the trophy.
Oh, it's like third grade again.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Obscure is in Dark World. We have Pendant Thieves, Pendant Swamp, along with our 5-6 over at Mire and Pod. Megawatt's routing is kind of going to give him an obvious start at Village of Outcast, so he's not, but he doesn't know that Thieves Sound is a pendant. Meanwhile, Obscure doing kind of a, I don't want to say more popular start, but one that's going to yield him a lot of items kind of early. And
I think flexible, actually. Oh.
yeah, ooh. I'm going to.
I have the ability to take this headset off and slap every single one of
Please
you.
don't.
And I will turn this car around.
But yes, that is a fire rod. That does give us access to finish off Skull Woods when we get over there. And, with our runners, you might see that. Obscure doing a nice little dash. Obviously, we're going to be taking the south route here.
Yep.
So right now as a runner, what would you be scared of right now as being maybe the item that'll hold you back from progressing?
Ice rod.
Ice rod.
Because
That's
this
probably
has
the
kind
clear
of been,
answer, yeah.
I would say this has already kind of been looking like an early, not like a jet seed, but like we know where the flute is. We know it's locked by the mirror, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Although, with this being Pendant Swamp, we could be looking at a seed like a potential hover or Moldorm bound seed, depending on where this hookshot is.
We could also be theoretically in a bad spot too, looking for the mirror for Goma to get the flute.
Right,
well.
but we know we're going to need that because Myers a 5/6.
Right,
So like it, I know I initially said ice rod because of course everyone always fears an ice rod hunt, but I think runners will probably feel a little bit better if they can find the hook shot. I admittedly don't know Obscure's ability to hover. I know Megawatt doesn't hover, but I know he might Moldorm bounce if possible.
Disgusting.
So we're seeing the divergent routes. Obscure didn't really pick up much aside from that fire rod, but because he does have that fire rod, now when he goes to village, he can probably just start at Skull Woods and then decide how he's going to divvy up his route from there. There's the Titans mitts. Thank you, crowd, for the nice ooh.
All right. So that kind of
doesn't do a whole lot for us right now.
Yeah.
I mean, with the fire rod and the flippers and the mitts now, like we do have Ice Palace on the table, but without the King of Samaria, I don't know if either of the runners really want to go straight in.
Wait, I missed that. What
was
the
Ether?
It was just Ether.
Oh, okay.
We are going to run out of items, y'all.
Well, you know something has been picked up when we hear an audible ooh behind us.
And the best part too is like even if they could even if the runners could or couldn't because of chat just oohing and awing, now they have no idea. Like to be fair, in some of the matches they've had like one like audible like oh my god like that's the Goma medallion, but y'all are just canceling that out.
It's true. It's true. Chat behind us, or you're doing a great job. Crowd behind us, you're not chat.
No, I mean they are basically chat. This is literally just raw memery.
Did someone back there just ask about PED? Do we need to have an intervention? We don't even have a book yet, guys. Come on. Do you think about PED in this situation? I mean, it's super early, but like because like at this point, PED is locked behind Mirror, which locks our flute. We're locked behind Hookshot, which is kind of one of the big things that we really don't want to we want to find. So like.
Yep.
In terms of what could be behind PED on the seed, the answer is probably not a lot. I don't think either runner's too worried so much about PED this seed.
The answer would have to be an ice rod, probably exactly. And at that point, I mean,
because we have progressive bows, right?
Yes, this is a progressive bow.
Thank you for reminding me that.
Yes.
We didn't actually curse the runners with one bow.
What's cursed about having separate bow and silvers?
Okay, I am a toddler when it comes to the game. And I mean that like I started when progressive bows were a thing. So the first tournament I had where there was bows and silvers, I was like, I don't know what to do. I have these arrows and I can't do anything with them. So it was jarring. And to be fair, it's probably not really a big deal because then it just becomes like I'm looking for the one bow versus trying to like suss out if this is my first or second bow, maybe like a weird logical seed. But it's not really a big deal. I'm just trying to be funny.
So right now, pretty much the only real thing that could be on pedestal is going to be Ice Rod. And honestly, that might actually be a good thing because then it would guarantee that we would have to get Hookshot before GT.
Yeah.
So...
And like, depending on how the runners feel about hovering and or Moldorm Benzie, because, we talk about what you can and can't do. Like, you're usually doing that from the comfort of your home. You're now in a live setting, dealing with a lot more pressure in front of a live audience and all that. So, like, you might not have the same, like, desire or, like, ability. Like, the nerves might start kicking in, especially when you're, your opponent's not done because you're literally facing your opponent.
All right. And Obscure defeating Mothula. That's our first boss of the race, right?
Yeah, it is, and we'll be getting our first crystal.
An insurmountable lead from Obscure. Wrap it up.
No, we're not doing that, Zap. Come on. Oh, yeah. All right, so that's like Kana Samaria, which we do need. I don't imagine Obscure is going to be missing that because of the mids being where they are here in Village of Outcasts.
So we've been oohing more for Megawatt versus Obscure. We got to, like...
We do, yeah.
There was a simultaneous ooh because there was also the crystal drop. So, like, it was a mutual
okay.
ooh.
Okay.
All right, I'll take it. All right.
Yeah.
That
Sounds good to me.
That is very fair. Like, yeah, both these runners are obviously incredible. And
I'm not biased.
Yeah.
You're not biased. You are.
ooh, big key.
Big key.
But actually, going back a little bit, we were talking about OLF. While you are a teammate for Megawatt, like playstyle-wise, like he's going to be, I won't say more thorough, but like I would say principled.
He's a little bit more traditional in how you would, approach a seed in terms of like, okay, I have, I'm starting Village, so I'm going to route Village South, or I'm starting Hype Cave, I'm going to route Hype Cave West. He's a little bit more predictable in that sense, and like OLF's game is about as unpredictable as you can get. Like if you ever face OLF, you don't know what he's doing. Not in a bad sense in any way, shape, or form. Just in a matter of
Someone's got to. So I have no idea, actually, if like the oohs and the ahs are coming through like the crowd noises, which is the best part because we could just be reacting and chat's like, what's going on?
You just hear me dead stop in the middle of a sentence.
We have the oohs coming in through chat.
Oh, okay, so they can hear the oohs. Okay.
Thank you.
Right,
you,
so-
chat. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I might be lying when I say I appreciate y'all, but I'm.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I refuse to let
Will
you.
you let me be angry?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, Dad. I won't do the rest of that joke one.
Okay.
Okay.
I do want to shout out, by the way, our awesome tracker, Link Force. Like,
Yes.
Link Force.
Link Force is the one pushing the buttons. So much of what is possible is not possible, or our trackers are what make us go so well. So, do want to give Link Force a shout out.
Doing the hard work so that we don't have to, because we actually get to be here. And
You act as if I'm paying attention.
I mean,
I just wait for the ooze at this point.
Yeah.
And then I like look up like.
I'm
ooh,
looking at you and then. Yeah. Now they're gonna fake ooh.
That was Compass. That was pretty important.
Yeah. No. Compass tells you what the boss is of the dungeon.
And suddenly crowd control animizer.
No.
Let's go. Yes. We can have mixed shuffle just turned on.
All right, that is one of our 3 heart containers that we will pick up this season. That actually was Sankard.
Yeah.
That's what, 6 hearts? Yeah, we're doing okay health wise.
Yeah.
I don't think either one. Oh, there's both of our items. So that's a little unfortunate for Obscure. Like usually when you have the fire out and you're able to do Skullwoods all in one go, you kind of rush the boss a little bit because the boss can't have a key, so the chances of Mothula having an item are a little bit higher. Unfortunately, in Obscure's case, though, the 2 items that was in the dungeon were just the last 2 checks.
Yeah, and I will say one thing at least with Megawatt's sort of just like you call it traditional, like granted dungeon down, but I would say in a better spot, like we're gonna have the ability to do things quickly. We've done most of Fu, right? Like it's efficient, right?
Yeah.
So as long as things aren't fully on the way, like that play style tends to work. Of course, like the flip side, because you were talking about the jet, is that like when you have the item, when you have the breadcrumbs pushing you dungeon to dungeon, and luckily it did slow down a little bit so that we're not just in the dungeon rush.
And like at this point, the mountain isn't really an option for either runner. Like we don't have the mirror, we don't have the hook shot, so like doing EDM just isn't possible.
Yeah.
So neither runner is even considering that. We talked about how Obscure's routing can be a little bit more chaotic, but he's still just as thorough as Megawatt. Like,
sure, yeah.
You might think, oh, why is he doing some of these checks? Well, like, he does it because, he does it because, 1, he probably knows that his opponent isn't going to go there earlier, but 2, he knows he has the skill to kind of keep up with his opponent regardless of what route they take.
It's almost more like, whereas Megawatt has a constant sort of foot on the gas, like Obscure is probably, we said erratic, right? But like it's like stop and go, stop and go.
There are better words than erratic than to Obscure. I don't want to assume that that's a negative connotation because it's not.
Obscure went into Thieves Town and left. Probably realized it was maybe a pendant and decided to do it later, or
so like he didn't do any of the chests at all.
Yeah, he just like dipped right in and came back out.
Interesting.
Yeah, he opened it, went in. Ooh, the Twizzly came.
So he's going to save and quit, which means he's not picking up the Smith. So he's definitely been cutting some corners because I still don't think he's done Bonk Rocks.
No. Well, that will never happen.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, so you're seeing some of the skips that Obscure is willing to make in a situation like this, and in a casual boot seat, I remember doing a casual boot seat a little while ago during one of the league races, and someone in chat was like, a great way to lose Cas boots is to do everything, because you generally expect to see like this to go with the quality runners here, hour 20, hour 30 at the most, kind of thing. So like if you're being super thorough, you're gearing towards a loss, and Obscure is cognizant of that. I think.
Is this our first check of mushroom?
This is our first check of mushroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, the other thing too is that it's not even that you're probably just waiting for the breadcrumbs to string you along, because they're about to be in the same spot, right? Like Megawatt had Fire. I was like, I'm gonna do Skull Woods, get one thing done, and Ice Palace.
Ooh, for that heartbeat.
Yeah. And Obscure basically doing the same thing. It's like, I'm going to get rid of my bottle, I'm gonna turn this mushroom, and then right back to Ice Palace. I mean, like again, I will not use the word erratic, but definitely, like I said, it's principled because in a way, you're waiting for the next big thing, and you get the dungeon, go again. So yeah.
We're also going to take care of King's Tomb because we do now have those mids. Did Obscure just like... No, he routed this from Link's house.
Yeah, from Link's house, yeah.
Alright, so Megawott getting his first crystal. Meanwhile, Obscure probably, like you said, was probably just going to go straight to Ice Palace at this point. Now with the Canis Mario, there's no reason to really put it off.
With the other big key.
With the other...
Yeah. And a Megawott will probably actually do the exact same thing. Turn the mushroom. We do one full bottle, which actually kind of in this case serves as magic because we get to like the fire rod duplication. So like either way, he may just fill the other bottle, may not, because he's kind of like on the cusp of Zora money, which is kind of dangerous.
So interesting to note that right there that Megawatt saved and quit. Did Megawatt do the front? Did he get the items?
Yes, he did. He front to back.
Oh, he did front to back. Yeah. Okay, because that was the end of his route.
Because that was the end of his route.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Not a whole lot new going on. Runners kind of covering each other's tracks.
So for everybody that's just tuned in, this is Speedgaming Live 2023. This is the semifinals between Megawatt and ObscureLifeForm.
You want to... Guys, this is a fairy drop down if you didn't know.
Yeah.
This is Cas Boots DLC. Like,
yeah, like you never see this in Cas Boot. Megawatt laughing and shaking his head. But yeah, semifinals.
Semifinals. We've got, after this, stay tuned. We've got another race between Area and Ninjembro for the other semifinal. And then we have, after that, the finals.
Yeah, so
at 4 o'clock.
We're just going to be going back to back to back. So if you're a fan of Link to the Past Randomizer, this is where you're going to be sitting for the next essentially 4.5 hours, I would say.
If you're not a fan of Link to the Past Randomizer, welcome.
Yeah. I
don't know why you're here, but thanks.
Well, I mean, hopefully we're doing a good job in like explaining what's going on.
You're doing a great job, Wally.
I honestly don't think I am. But anyways, see, because like we're talking Obscure's an Ice Palace, Saf.
I'm aware of where Obscure is. He's now about to check something. Ooh's cued.
Ooh, that was a good.
That was fantastic.
That was a wonderful. That was great.
Now things are scary.
Yeah.
That's quite the pick.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say now things are scary, because you certainly I think this is where the first real divergences are going to be, right? Because what flute you're going to probably like Meyer Medallion, Meyer Medallion check Desert.
I mean, Meyer Medallion, you're probably going to clear Meyer if you're able to get into it.
And with 2 or 3, we're probably clear.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. God, I love this MSU, by the way.
What is it?
This is Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Okay.
So this is a Megawatt special.
Yeah. So this is the cool thing was watching Megawatt last night just bebopping like when he was in GT. Like I was like, oh, he's just feeling it. No, it was actually just the music.
Oh.
the magic. Yes, Megawatt. Resource management is
Obscure having a little bit of difficulty right there. Didn't actually hit the switch the first time. Like walked across and realized, where's
Gamma 2 special?
No, we don't. He's not in this race.
I know, you're right. Sorry. my one call out there. That was 2 items, right? So we have.
Yeah, we're 2 items already. So do you? Obscure's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Little surprised at that, but not really.
Watching that sprite just makes me giggle inside. So
Flooded fish.
yeah.
I didn't even realize it was a Sprite option until this weekend.
Oh, really?
No.
Obscure, well known for being this fish sprite. It's really good.
I did not know about that bunny beam. I am learning new things every day. That's actually no.
I honestly didn't know that either.
Yeah.
It's not a bunny beam that you really think about because you're never really picking up that.
Unless
that
you
pop.
play the April Fool's festive, and then yeah, you just get immediately wrecked by it.
Oh no! wait a minute. What's the lore behind that?
This enemy timers are just different.
Oh no!
So it just, instead of like it doing like its thing where it just sits there and chills for a little bit, yeah, it just immediately just comes after you.
I love that. Actually.
That's insane. That's insane.
Do you have any? Can we get a sneak preview of like what the next like holiday festive or like? Do you have any? Can you give us a little of a sneak preview?
It's gonna be themed. Ooh. No. I don't really have anything to share at this time. There'll probably be an April Fool's festive, but I don't know for certain.
Okay.
Or what it would consist of. I know it's our favorite festive to do.
Yeah.
At least me personally. I can't speak for anybody else, but it just turns into like a stone soup of a word I won't say on Speed Gaming.
Join me. Join us.
No, we're not doing this. This is Speed Gaming.
I'm aware of where we are. It says it right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can read.
So we've got both our runners going into Cold Stare at almost the same time.
Yeah, talking about the route a little bit.
Yeah.
Megawatt picked up the third item. You know, the three items were kind of early, so Obscure going to Iced Tea kind of actually cost him a little bit of time here, which has allowed Megawatt to kind of, keep up with Obscure here, because Megawatt was definitely not the first one in Ice Palace.
Very clean Cold Stare.
Very clean. And Obscure rightfully not taking any chances on Cold Stare. I think both of them only had one hit left, but when you're also in one hit KO mode, a death in Ice Palace is one of the worst to take, especially on Cold Stare.
Like, you run out of magic, you can't get back in. Like, you're just going to have to sadly putz away and find something else to do. They're immediately going to go get the flute, right? This same quick, so...
So I think we're going to kind of be in lockstep for a little bit, because I think the routing for this next little part is obvious.
Yeah.
So right now it's really just neck and neck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, which is when you see them in a semifinal. Like, this is exciting.
Yeah.
These are two really, really good players.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot to get here. And
oh, yeah, definitely. And we talk about how, being a live event has its own, difficulties and differences, but, like, we're also playing a lot in a short amount of time. Most of these runners have been doing 2-3 races a day at minimum.
Yeah, it's just not just sleed blur. It's probably something more than that at that point.
And you're also probably meeting a bunch of people in real life for the first time. So, some of you may be staying up a little bit later just because you want to hang out with people. Like, this is definitely a tourney of endurance a little bit.
Yeah, gamer nutrition is an all-time low.
How was your breakfast today, Zaf?
I had an apple. I had a little bit of coffee. I'm keeping it healthy because given everyone else with their Mountain Dew fueled, into the cereal, I'm trying to keep it a little bit healthy, because I'm going to fall apart tomorrow.
Fair. Sina, how was your breakfast?
All right, so I woke up at around 8 a.m. I looked at my alarm, and I took I can't speak over this.
Give me the eggs.
Shush. They're not done yet.
So I wake up at 8 a.m. and I'm like, well, my hunger isn't as great as my ability to want to sleep. So I just immediately went back to bed, right? And I wasn't even sure if I was going to do the comms because am I going to wake up before noon? So I'm glad that worked out. So
No, for sure.
so yeah, my breakfast was nothing.
Oh no.
Would you like a bottle of water? I have 3 or
That's
4.
not food.
It's hydration.
All right, no, I will take you up on that. Thank you.
Oh wow! And our tracker link for is just bringing up food like how.
Actually, I got some Canadian Kit Kats over here.
That's awesome.
I might grab.
Chad, does anyone else have food?
So real quick, actually, let's bring it back to the race a little bit. Megawatt was going to go straight into Myra, but then realized that Myra's actually bombos today.
Yeah.
So we do need that third medallion. Not under the immediate.
Yeah, no.
Under the doormat or whatever.
I'm a little bit curious about OLF. I guess like covering bases. Right?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
with that mirror, we wanted to do K45, being able to take this into Smith and into the fluid activation. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
So Megawott now in Desert, going to be working on crystal number 3. Obscure probably going to turn in the Smith. I'd be curious to see if he goes into Purple Chest, although he's going back into the Dark World. I don't know what we're doing.
Obscure.
Oh, no, he's definitely doing Purple Chest as a result of this. Yeah, no, obviously.
Right, because we saw hammer pegs there.
Yeah, we saw hammer pegs.
Yeah.
And he'll probably loop in.
All right.
Hooked on phonics for more checks.
Obscure will probably loop in Magic Bat in here as well. So he's definitely, like I said, covering his bases, which again kind of goes back into the, you might see him route a little bit more interesting than you might see more traditional runners, but he's definitely very capable of going back to what he has left behind. And like this Purple Chest isn't something that Megawatt's done.
Somebody actually bringing me donuts, or
Oh my,
No.
oh my gosh!
Oh my lord!
What a this is so nice.
I just thought chat was memeing.
Aww.
Oh,
Centipede
thank
might
you. I
actually be the
appreciate
nicest
that.
person in the Link to the Past community. Y'all all lose. No one offered up food, and then from stage left.
Yeah, so this is going to be kind of our first real
Yeah.
a potential win condition for Obscure, because when would Megawatt ever go back for a Purple Chest without maybe going into Pendant Thieves at some point?
It's going to be basically Thieves for Green Pendant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a ways away.
So if this is something big, this is worth a big ooh crowd.
Yeah. Don't cue the ooze.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do want to shout out our crowd back here. You guys have been fantastic, by the way. I love you, random citizen. I don't know how you said that. So.
Random citizen. Dictator, Mr. Kicks, would you like to talk about your platform?
No, have you not seen Megamind?
I don't watch.
Okay, whatever. Look, all right, we need to boot Zaf. Go. No, I'm just kidding.
I haven't sworn yet. You can't kick me. I'm not even taking the one. I'm keeping it PG. You can't kick me off yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, crystal number 3 for Megawatt. The Purple Chest not paying out for ObscureLifeForm, but I mean we're still very close. Both runners at this point probably just gonna go right up the mountain.
Yeah.
How's the donut?
Very chocolatey.
Great. Oh, Sinek, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. You are.
Oh.
Tell me. Never mind. That's a one-way trip to get my.
I appreciate you for stopping.
I don't appreciate me for stopping, but here we are.
All right, so Megawatt finishing up the desert area, going to be checking Agina's Cave, save and quit, and then I imagine we're just going up the mountain. Obscure going to be following right behind. With the book that we just got. Where was the ooze, guys? Thank you.
You can tell
I'm turning on the crowd now. Like I have high expectations for you guys. Come on, literally turn.
Yeah, you can tell Wally's not a fan of like the breadcrumbs. He's like, I want my big items now. Give me hook shot.
I just want a good race.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And yeah, so
I don't think we're gonna get a blowout at this point.
No, because this has actually been for everything that's gone on, this has actually been a pretty linear race so far.
Pretty linear. The safeties are well established. It would take a lot to have something happen at this point.
Yeah.
We're feeling comfy.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
I don't. Where's wood?
Wood. I use my knee.
Do you want to talk?
I was sorry. Were you a pirate in a past life?
Perhaps.
I mean, that'd be really cool.
Yar.
Oh no.
Me old man having myself a piece of heart.
Please pirate voice the rest of this. I am begging.
Yeah, chat, please. Like, give some subs. Like, if you, I'm not gonna like make a sub thing on something, but like an incentive. Like, if we get nothing but Sinek pirate voice, like, y'all better.
say R instead of ooh, I'd be 100% okay with that.
I would not.
Too bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, dude. What have I done to you?
Give you a hug.
Speaking of which, me matey, there was a boomerang in your cave.
All right, I take back what I just said. I will pay for you not to.
But Megawott didn't pick it up, so we can't R this one.
Yeah.
All right, Ether Tablet.
All right, what's there? Just me.
What were you going to say?
No, never mind.
All right, one thing to note, Megawott did in fact skip Hera entirely, like didn't even walk in. Like normally you kind of see runners like do the first two checks, because obviously one of them is going to be a small key or a big key, but it's that second one, it's like, oh, maybe you pick up a quick item and you're like, all right, cool, I don't need to really think about this anymore. So a little bit of interest there. Another point that we could very well consider is that we do have mitts, we do have cane, we do have fire rod, and 2 medallions. We could very well be looking into an Ice Rodless TR play here.
Yeah. Because otherwise, our options kind of are the Kaz boots. Do I really want to go into Pod and Eastern right now without a bow?
Have other runners done
No.
Sahasrahla? Like, has Sahasrahla been checked by other runners?
Sahas.
No, our tracker link for is saying no, and I mean
No.
that's
Yep. Saha's
They haven't
waiting
gone
for
in that
donuts.
area at all.
no.
They'll
Saha.
probably combine it with maybe like a Pod Eastern type of
Yeah,
cleanup probably at
But
this
at that
point.
point, that's basically going to be I've run out of like my crystal dungeons that
Yeah.
you can write like.
Yeah.
Saha's got Krispy Kremes in the back. Like they don't know this.
But I mean, Saha's usually like a play where, especially when you have like early boots that some runners kind of like to do, because that's a check that is Sphere 1, and so it's available right away.
Yeah.
So the fact that another runner has done it, I think, is a little interesting.
But also, I mean, like you talk about principles, right? Like people don't like doing the dungeons unless you have to as a crystal, right? Like because it does kind of feel bad. Like you are on the clock no matter.
Yeah.
what.
This is the best R behind me, like I have heard.
That be a load of rupees.
This is a great Pirates. No, I'm not going to finish the sentence. No.
Wally, would you like to finish that sentence?
No.
Wally, would you like to get kicked off of speed gaming before me?
That'd be amazing.
Is that what we speedrun next?
Don't tempt me. Please don't tempt me.
So Obscure also not going into.
I think it makes sense.
Meyer.
Though. And I wanted to ask you about this, but we got a little bit distracted by Captain Blackbeard over here. But the idea here is that if you actually find hookshot, would you want to you don't want to jump in more than once, right? Like so, if you end the route, you don't find hookshot, then you just go and find items. But like if you get a hookshot here, it's like it'd probably be a lot faster as an alternative.
Yeah.
Just waiting as long as you can on that decision.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Goodoo.
Yeah, great Goodoo.
So Quake for Turtle Rock means that we can go in and pretty much go all the way and do everything but the boss.
Right.
So it'll be very, very interesting to see if either runner does that, considering, you do have a pod and Eastern to look for.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want to do either of those without the bow, but the bow, there are 2 bows out there. One of them could very easily just be right there. If Obscure hovers, this is going to kind of be an inflection point, because I'd imagine you try to hover Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, if you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Swamp being a pendant, like it's one of those.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing to think about is hookless pendant swamp,
Yeah.
which is scary. You don't want to do that at
think
all.
about it. Yeah, no, absolutely no.
Yeah, like during SGL's finals last year, Hookshot Cave really mattered. So
Okay.
yeah, that was.
My boy Illis, rest
Yep.
in peace. He's not dead, he just lost.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Illis, if you're listening, we love you.
I love you very much. Ooh.
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, though, with this, do you think Megawott just says nah to Hera?
Yeah, I don't think
This
you're going
is-
into Hera at
yeah.
this point. This is, yeah. And so, I mean, that's a play. And, you go to think about, again, this is a cash money tournament, and you're playing a Kaz Bootsy against a very good opponent, a main tournament winner.
Best of one, right?
You have to think about, okay, what are there corners that I can cut?
I know we talked about this briefly in the car over, but I feel like, again, when you have someone who you don't have a good read on, you can't think about what they want to do. And I think
It's true. I think when you're playing Obscure, you kind of have to just ignore the kind of decisions that they're going to make and just say, okay, I need to play my game and assume that my game is going to be good enough.
Which is scary considering the other half of the bracket has Airy, where you're not good enough. Sorry.
Yeah, the other half of the bracket, the other semifinal match will actually be right after this one is Area versus Ninjembro. And I mean that that's almost another similar matchup in that you think of Area, obviously, who's a previous NMG world record holder. I don't know if he still currently holds it, but if not, he's like second. So obviously incredible rando player, period. But Ninjembro, to kind of preview that matchup, is another one who kind of has a little bit more of a route that kind of diverges from the norm. So it could, you could be looking at a very similar matchup to what you're watching right now.
I'm actually looking that up right now. So I'm interested.
Oh, the NMG times?
Yeah. He is still the world record holder.
He is still the world record holder.
At 1:23.00. 9 seconds. 9 seconds ahead of second.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
I thought the other guy didn't submit his. I can't remember his name.
Eddie.
Eddie, thank you.
Oh.
I thought Eddie did have a. Oh no.
All right, we're seeing the hover.
All right.
This could be very significant.
This is very
Money.
disgusting.
So you do the first hover, you bonk these 2 checks, and then you got to hover over to this
Megawott
one.
is feeling that table shaking. I have no idea actually.
I don't think he's actually. Well, he might be seeing it because I don't think he's.
There
actually,
we go.
That was a beautiful hover, by the way.
Oh.
Nothing of consequence.
Nope.
Thank God.
In case you didn't hear it from the peanut crowd behind me.
The peanut crowd.
What do you call it? The peanut gallery? Thank
Gallery?
you.
Yeah.
Shush.
I'm not being pedantic on
I
this.
look. I speak before I think. Sometimes that's a lamp. Ooh.
I'm sorry. I saw Megawatt's face. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
lamp. Yeah. Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's logical. Yeah, so both runners going into Turtle Rock. I mean, obviously, very defendable play. Both runners correctly, by the way, without the hook shot.
Not failing the doofus.
It's very easy for new runners or runners, if you're not used to doing this without the hook shot, to kind of just go, like, if you don't have the hook shot, you just start going north, and then you're, like, looking longingly at these torches and, like, welp, I just wasted
I've done
40
this
seconds.
again. Yeah. I can't believe I've done this.
Have not found anything of significance yet. And admittedly, we've found, maybe one item?
Yeah, lame.
Yeah, so just the one item here.
Yeah.
A little party there with some mimics.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best kind of party because they do
Yeah.
exactly what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have an imaginary friend growing up?
Did I?
No, I think those. I thought. I'm
In
sure.
general, yeah. I mean, if they do exactly what you do, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
true.
they're a better friend than you. No, I'm just kidding.
Does any? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
I did not actually see what that was.
I don't think it
Was that in
anything. I
10
think
bomb.
Okay, thank you.
I think it was our friendship just shattering to pieces in front of a live audience.
Pretty sure all of SG chat just saw like our friendship end.
It's fine.
Yeah, we still haven't. We don't know what's on Lumberjack still, right?
I'm.
Or was that scouted?
I'm.
Megawatt's got it.
Yes,
It
I'm
was
fairly
scouted,
sure
okay.
Megawott scouted it. Yeah, then.
Yeah. All right.
And like I'm sure Megawatt would love to get revenge on his earlier Dark Aga attempt from yesterday, which he got through, but not without some significant struggle. Like he would have done Aga 1 before coming up here, I would imagine, if it was something of significance. Because at this point we're looking for Bow.
Bow, Ice Roth.
Yeah.
And
But we are getting to a point to where
yeah.
this hook shot is significant because OLF has obviously shown that he can hover and has no problem hovering in a high stress environment.
Disgusting. I really appreciate y'all actually getting the moves timed so that like neither runner could.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
All right, well, this is honestly fine for both runners. Both runners are doing this, so there's not going to be any time loss here for either side.
Yeah. And I think this now is probably going to be that section of the world which is Saha Potty's turn.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little interesting if, there was a slight opportunity to hold on to the portal, but you'd have to be doing some awkward routing
You would be
choices.
banking on Hera at that point, and I don't think that
No, not necessarily banking on Hera, but like you would be going into, you'd be doing Saha into Eastern before you step foot in a pod.
Yeah.
Potentially hoping for something good.
Yeah, I was thinking like close checks on mountain and other things. Yeah.
True.
Like,
True.
now here's just gonna have like all the Krispy Kreme, Bombos, hook shot, ice rod.
Chat's saying either did Lumberjack, which is a little interesting, but I have to imagine Megawott did. Like,
I thought Megawatt skedaddled up there.
So we didn't. So it wasn't scouted.
I guess not.
Oh.
But
I feel like we commented on that happening.
Well,
we definitely watched
we
we definitely
watched
watched
OLF.
Obscure just yeet away from everything.
No, I think. Yeah, I don't think it ever got scouted.
Okay.
I don't recall it.
Yeah, I was too impressed by OLF just
by saying
reckless abandon.
saying immediate no to Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, shout out to probably not having a tracker saying green square here.
Okay, look, not all of us had a good experience with that this tournament.
I love you, Wally.
Pretty impressed considering I just ended our friendship like a minute ago.
Okay, as a cross keys champion, could you route your way back into my heart?
Like, just for that alone, yes.
Yes. Sorry, I really love like this track. And
This is such a good track, by the way.
Ooh.
All right, so early big key. And
Sigma, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah. No. Yep.
was he looking at us like
he was giving the crowd the stinky eye.
So something that could, help Obscure kind of pick up a little bit of time, because he does have a slight disadvantage, just because he's kind of following in Megawatt's footsteps at this point, is the fact that he could potentially hover, the Bowlock side here, which would save him a decent chunk of time.
I think they both have potions too, just in case.
Yeah.
So, right. I mean, and that effectively, like I said, is actually one extra go mode item for Megawatt.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Megawatt can bounce, but again, we always talk about the high pressure situation. You might be able to bounce, but can you bounce in front of Sinek? I don't know if you know how many people are in chat right now, but like, there's probably like a lot.
Yeah.
I can find that out here in just a minute.
We probably should actually specify people who may not know what bouncing is.
We've got over 1,600 viewers right now.
Yo, shout
Shout
outs
outs to like everybody who's watching right now.
You guys are so awesome.
Thank you for being awake early.
Yeah.
Or
Early, it's noon.
As I said,
It's relative. They could be on the
early.
They could be on the West Coast.
That's true. Get some nice Sunday morning breakfast in. Better breakfast than I had a good breakfast, thank you. I had eggs and bacon.
You did. There were eggs and bacon. I missed out.
All right, so nothing so far of significance here in pod. We're getting to the point where we're going to start running low on good checks.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the question: what comes next? And
I mean, assuming after Eastern, of course.
Yeah. Right. Sorry. Yeah. The thought was, what comes next after? Is it thieves?
You gotta. I don't know.
Yeah, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, this is this part where you then start making those smaller decisions that really are gonna, or the bigger decisions.
Yeah, the kind of real inflection points of the season.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of unsure how you want to approach this. One thing to also consider, and I wasn't looking, so I admittedly didn't know, if Ice Palace was hookshot locked. Because that could tell Megawatt in the event of, hey, I need to find the hookshot, could the hookshot be in GT?
I don't remember actually. I thought I remember an early key, but
I know the big key was directly above the big chest. I know there was a small key in the vanilla big key chest. I think, I'm not even going to pretend
no,
to.
because Mirror was in Pengator, so
Yeah. So that was an empty pod.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, so now for our runners, you had essentially a really good first 35-ish minutes.
Yeah.
But now we've just did Turtle Rock for nothing. We've just done pod for nothing. How do you think these runners are feeling?
I don't know. Like, if I thought this was a jet seat before, now I'm seeing it crashing into the ocean. So, it's now. Like, you hope you get lucky at this point, like just based on making some good decisions on what you're checking.
Megawatt's gone. That was.
All right.
No.
Okay, so we went back to the beginning. All right.
That's interesting because it's definitely not faster. I wonder if.
he forgot.
He forgot the first chest. That's a little bit of the nerves kicking in. And Megawatt, I know from experience in being his teammate and talking to him and spending a lot of the weekend hanging out with him. I know he does see this as being a little bit nerve-wracking. Yeah. We talked the first time he was on Reshim, and he's like, it's an entirely different experience being up on stage. So you might see a little bit of the nerves kicking in on his end, but he performed admirably when he was racing Gem. Like, he did really well, and so he knows how to kind of keep himself centered in a situation like this. And I think a lot of that has to do with his MSU.
Yeah, the MSU, he is bopping again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now about to come down to what is the best bad decision.
Yeah. And I think, for Megawatt, he might be looking at Pendant Thieves Town because he knows he also has Purple Chest he left behind. Yeah. For Obscure, he's done Purple Chest. He might be looking at a Hookless Swamp. So I think we could see like our first real bit of like actual divergence that could kind of decide who is in control of the seat.
We have the North Dark World loot because we have
a little bit
ledge,
of it.
We have Graveyard Ledge.
Just those two, because
both
of no, we haven't done Catfish.
Yeah, I was in. So
okay,
that is something that is up there.
Yeah, we have Pyramid. I guess that means we also have Pyramid as well. So there is some overworld cleanup that both runners still have.
So, okay. So for those who are just tuning in, by the way, this is Speed Gaming Live 2023. This is the semifinal match between Megawatt and Obscure versus
ObscureLifeForm
versus ObscureLifeForm. This is one of 3 races that you're going to see this afternoon here on Speed Gaming 1. After this, we have another semifinal match, Arier versus Ninjembro. That'll be happening at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern, about 50 minutes from now. And then at 4 o'clock, we will have the finals versus, which will be the winner of this race, and then the race after this.
Yeah.
And then, yep.
And this is for a cash prize.
Yeah. Over almost $3,000, and that's a prize pool for LTTPR on site.
That's a nice breakfast.
That's a really nice breakfast.
That's a lot of.
That is a lot of.
That's a lot of ooh.
Yeah, that's some Texas Day Brazil for a couple meals a day.
And I think the breakdown is the winner will get 50% of that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Minus so we paid $25 to 16th through 9th place.
Yeah.
And then we took that out, that $200, and then the rest of it is then being paid as percentages. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head here, but
that's a lot of Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, it is a lot of donuts. Yes.
Ooh. Come on, Crowdy. You're slacking here. I'm not hearing a lot of oohs.
It's 55 minutes of ooh. I'd be exhausted.
That's not a whole lot of energy you're expanding.
The big ooh energy.
Are you giving them Krispy Kremes to supply their oohs and their ahs?
Do you want me to? Crowd, do you want me to supply you with Krispy Kreme?
Wow.
Wow, I was expecting like a full-blown like everybody going yes, but no, y'all disappointed me. You aren't getting anything.
Friendship with Wally over.
All right, so our North Dark World checks haven't really come up with anything, and I think Obscure is going into Swamp. I think Obscure. I think this is a Swamp play.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is something we talk about. This is, I don't want to say like this is an Obscure specialty, but like this is a play that Obscure likes to do.
Right. He knows that other runners are probably not going to want to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yo, welcome back, crowd. Where'd y'all go?
We're going to do a Bombos tablet check. Imagine a vanilla Bombos.
I'd like not to.
Okay, well. I mean, yeah, that's
I
fair.
mean, cue your oohs or your ahs.
There's Bombo's tablet. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, he's just going to take this portal right back into Swamp Palace, which, I mean, given what we know at this point, you know, I kind of think we're down to just largely Swamp and Thieves Town at this point.
I believe so, yeah.
I think we've kind of covered everything else.
Other options.
I mean, the pedestal index is
Slowly
And
rising.
Hera.
slowly rising.
Oh,
yeah.
and Hera, yeah, we haven't touched
Yeah.
Hera at all.
Yeah.
Wait, Obscure didn't do the dam at all.
Oh
No.
my brother in Christ! What are you doing?
I mean,
Oh, no.
no,
I mean, it worked out this time around.
Yeah,
but
it did, but no, that's interesting. And all right, we're actually gonna get our first Lumberjack check.
Are
so,
you trying to defend that?
Me?
All right,
I
here
don't
we
know.
go. I want to hear it. Ooh.
Gee golly gosh!
That'd be a lot of rupees.
Oh no!
Oh, we brought back the
No.
fire.
We brought back calm control. Someone paid for the pirate.
Obscure is now in Swamp Palace.
Yeah.
If you get, say, a Bombos, are you out?
I don't know actually.
Thank you.
Bombs,
There
bombos.
wasn't an O in there.
Yeah.
It was BOBMS. I got that. We were missing the second O.
Chat supplies the ooh.
So we have a hookless swamp on the left.
If I'm making
here.
this play,
Or right.
and I go in the hookless swamp and I find one item, I'm probably not gonna bail, because if it's
Mm-hmm.
another thing like that, I don't want to. Like, I'm spending the time to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate part about doing Hook with Swamp is that you can't do Specky Clip.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, why are we picking up the key? Like, why aren't we just Specky Clip? Obviously, we can't Specky Clip. We don't have a hook
Yeah, we
shot.
don't have the ability to get
One,
through
one, of,
rails.
one of the new techs where you're able to kind of skip that first pot key and just
Yeah.
kind of hook shot across, which actually negates the need for a hammer entirely in this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the only reason you need a hammer is to get past that first area. So this is our first, like, this is kind of the first real, like, who is going to be taking a lead here. You know, for the first hour or so, we've kind of just been covering each other's tracks. That's an ice rod in Swamp Palace. That is very nice for Obscure.
Oof.
That means, well, we could still have. All right, so we're still looking for bombos.
Still looking for Mobos, and we still need a bow.
We need a bow.
And that's all Obscure needs, because Obscure can have her. You know, Megawott probably going to be trying to snipe a
On the
hook shot at
plus
something.
side, it's not as though it's going to be a hook shot in a GT gun situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, in the event that, you know, Megawatt's still looking for the hook shot and Obscure isn't, that's just time that he's going to be giving to Obscure. Time that he probably won't have at that point.
Right. I was trying to think of like the situations here. So the one interesting thing is going to be if there's a hook shot in Thieves, or hook shot in Green Pen.
I mean, that'll definitely just push Megawatt
Yeah, push Megawatt
into
Swamp, yeah.
into Swamp, which would be good for him at this point. Yeah, it's very interesting to see kind of what our next big thing, because the ooh, okay,
All
All
there
right.
we go.
that's good. That is a bow.
That is one smiley face.
And if you're Megawatt, I think you're hoping that's the only bow that's
Yeah.
not until GT.
Yeah. I mean, this actually is really nice again because we'll get Saha for the Krispy Kremes, and then we'll get I think one item in Eastern and one item in Pod. I can't remember actually.
I'm not sure what
what
the item layout was, so let's see.
Speaking of tracker,
Yeah.
do we have an item in Pod? Link Force.
Shout out to our trucker, by the way, Link Force.
Yeah,
do
shout
you
out
know
to-
if there's an item in Pod? Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
3 items. Difficult boss. Some may say there's a script for it. I don't believe it.
I mean, you know, if you know what you're doing, then yes, this is, you
Do I
know.
look like a man who knows what I'm doing?
Yes, I believe in you.
You really value our friendship.
I- Okay, so both runners in Pendant Dungeons got something of value. Megawatts is a more now value. Obscures is a later value. But at this point, there still isn't a whole lot of like, okay, what, like, the bow essentially gets us 1, maybe 2 new items. So it's still not the big thing that we were kind of hoping to get.
Yeah.
And Obscure's going to give us some more new checks, which I'm assuming is Pyramid Catfish at this point.
Yeah, and this is his graveyard ledge, his bumper ledge being, I guess it's kind of on an island.
Do you think he ever goes back for Bonk Rocks?
No.
At this point, you're already invested in not.
That's the other bow.
Ick.
So that swings significantly more back into Obscure's favor, because now Obscure really doesn't have and probably won't never go back into Thieves Town. So that's unfortunate for Megawatt.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a Bombos now for Obscure because again, like we saw the hover. So.
Yeah, and like I said, now it's Bombos going for Obscure, and there's really not a whole lot we have left.
Yeah.
Because like maybe it, he might probably he's gonna go Pod Eastern back up to Turtle Rock at this point. So, and that confirms for us, or at least for Obscure, that Pyramid Fairy is nothing to him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pyramid Fairy, well...
I mean, it could be something for Megawatt. It could still be a hook shot. But, so I think for Megawatt, I think the best bet is this should be a Bombos. It is not.
No smiley face.
No smiley face.
Yeah.
Obscure being a little bit more thorough than I thought he'd be at this point, knowing that he has a bow and an ice rod. Like, I'd kind of thought he would maybe kind of head over back towards the crystals that he hasn't cleared yet and hope that he just picks up Bombos along the way.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is, if you do that, and we've already, like I said, I mean, at that point, he's got 2 items. It's 1 and 1.
True. But I mean, at some point, are you telling yourself, am I bleeding time doing these excess checks? Which, I mean, obviously, he doesn't know they're nothing, but we do.
It's like, and I'm not about to be in a position to try and metagame or even think about that, and I wonder if he's sort of in a situation of this sea's starting to dry out, like, I'd rather cover my bases.
True.
Because Hookless Swamp isn't exactly a play a lot of people want to make. There were still options on the table, so that's definitely sort of like an on-the-fly, like...
And the thing is, Megawatt's going to have to go into Swamp at some point.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see if he gets a hook shot. Like, maybe there's a hook shot here on Helma King, and he might then have the authority to, or he might be able to go to the back of Swamp, like, if we find this hook shot. So there's still definitely, like, a lot of inflection points still in this seed remaining. But right now, I would definitely say Obscure, because of his ability to hover, is a little bit more in the driver's seat than Megawatt is.
Yep.
And what you're saying is the only thing that can really like balance that a little bit is if Bombos is in the back half of Swamp, right?
Is it the back half of Swamp? Is somewhere we haven't considered yet? Yeah, essentially.
It's like I've been trying to rack my brain. Did we miss anything? Like Obscure missed Bonk Rocks, but I don't think so.
I think we've covered this pretty well.
Yeah.
And like, yes, Bombos obviously means Gomod for Obscure and is good for Megawatt because he needs it as well. But like, if he gets Bombos before being forced into Swamp Palace, he's probably going to be full clearing Mire looking for that Ice Rod before he goes into Swamp Palace.
Megawatt hammered out his differences with Helmasaur King.
Thank you.
Well played. Like that.
That was very good. Applause for Sinek.
A little golf clap for you.
I try.
You succeeded.
Oh, that's okay. That's going to be go mode for Obscure.
Yeah.
So the clock is ticking now for Megawatt, and he doesn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, and the problem is that Hookshot may not even be an initial clue for him to go to Swamp because he has Threat, Hookshot Cave. That is the other big key for Hera. Yeah, this is precarious, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at this point, Obscure is going to get to go mode Swamp Palace or Misery Mire, excuse me, and just go right back in. Yeah, he's definitely in the driver's seat here in this seat.
Yeah, in fact, there would just probably be Hookshot and Mire, so. Or more than likely. Like, it's Mire or...
Mire or Pyramid Fairy, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sorry, it's a sort of moment of like hesitation. It's like what's left that could possibly what could be our outs for Megawatt, and it's getting dicey.
It's getting dicey.
It's getting dicey, yeah.
Because it would take longer for Megawatt to get into Swamp to get to where the Ice Rod was, which was the chest south of the big chest, than it would for Obscure to be doing what Megawatt is doing, which is finishing Eastern.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Obscure definitely with the lead right now.
Yeah, I take back what I said about progressive bows. Not.
I have to imagine Megawatt's probably thinking he's feeling decent with that bow, not knowing that the other bow is just sitting on Pyramid Fairy. Because, he'll, assuming that he's still looking for the hook shot, he's probably going to go do Pyramid Fairy. And assuming he's looking for the Ice Rod, he's going to do Pyramid Fairy and see that second bow and realize he's probably feeling a lot worse at that point.
Ooh.
And that is a significant ooh, because that means that ObscureLifeForm is in fact in go mode.
Mm-hmm. So Omega ooh.
Oh, well, no, not Omega ooh, because it's not Megawatt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Our crowd continues to be wonderful.
Yeah, our crowd is something.
I like how you said something.
Yeah, I know what I want to say.
They're a crowd that
They're
exists.
a crowd.
They are a crowd that lives in a society. Y'all are mostly lovely. I'm not turning around to look any of you in the eyes because I know who I'd look at.
I mean, I just want to look at everybody in the eye. Y'all are so pretty. Hello, Earthjig.
You're also pretty. Hello, Worthjig.
Well, it was his eyes that I looked into when I saw it, so I had to say.
All right.
Oh, man. All right, so. This is Misery Meyer for Megawott.
Yeah, Misery Meyer for Megawatt.
Best case scenario for him, he finds the hook shot, and he maybe finds the second item super early as well, and is able to kind of take that and go from there. But there's no doubting at this point that there is a disadvantage here.
Yeah.
It's like worst case scenario for Megawatt, this is a Godmire.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably is actually the worst situation would be Godmire and it's been tough decisions for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one's going to be you suddenly maybe and the thing is he doesn't know the position he's in, right? Because he hasn't seen the other bow. He doesn't know
Yeah.
And I don't know that he will, truthfully, for a long time.
And real quick, nicely done by Obscure. He with those two red Icors, he actually didn't get the first hit on one of them, but is able to cover nicely and take them both out before they went. They closed their eyes and went back to sleep and became invincible. Can I be invincible when I sleep?
I wish I was invincible when I slept.
All right, crystal number 5 right there for Obscure. He's just gonna go straight into Misery Mire. Gonna just search out for the big key and go. Megawatt's still looking for both that Ice Rod and that hook shot.
Yeah. Yeah, we swapped to vanilla audio.
I would say getting the change of audio usually like split audio of the runner who's got a perceived lead at this point. So
Yeah,
makes sense to switch over.
Counterpoint. That MSU bops.
It is a really good MSU, but it's also not justified at this point.
I disagree. I can justify it all day.
I mean,
Would you like me to?
Yes, please.
On this stage, with these comps?
the floor is yours.
Yes.
No, the floor actually belongs to the Hilton.
Notice how he didn't actually
I'm deflecting.
Yeah,
because
that
I'm
was a
choosing my words.
pure dodge.
Yeah, I'm
on
deflecting.
Your part.
I am choosing my words very carefully.
Thank you.
But it doesn't matter, unfortunately. Obscure's here.
It's kind of like.
Well, I know what
Oh, I don't want to hit that. Knock that over.
Nice Mire 2 there from Obscure.
Rick, please don't ban me. I know you want to.
Zaf has genuinely been on his best behavior.
I won't go that far, but I will be on. I've been
Oh, okay.
All right.
I don't know that that's a good thing.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's what he needed.
Yeah. No.
There is in no way, shape, or form that's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing
But
from his
he's-
perspective.
Yeah, but that's still the fact that he's just flat out behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mason will probably drive him probably into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I was like, I have no doubt
So-
that he's just going to head right to Swamp. It'll be really curious to see how Obscure is choosing to route Misery Meyer, knowing that he's just looking for the big key. Because the big key is in the chest next to the big chest at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, Megawatt's going to drop down, still looking for the second item, still looking for that ice rod. So he's going to lose a few seconds here. Are you singing us a tune?
Are you Luigi's Mansioning me? Is that what's happening?
No, he's just doing the dungeon music.
Yeah. Okay. So we have this.
Can we make a full MSU of these
I
ooze?
would like not to.
Oh man, that is. I think it's worth it for the memes. I believe.
Oh no. Doing anything.
Chat, what do you think? Would you
Oh,
play?
more
A,
DLC.
would you play a
We're
Sunak
hearing
Ooh
it behind us, which is fantastic.
MSU? Sunak Ooh MSU? Would you
MS.
guys use
Oh
it?
my god.
We have devolved into GDQ at night.
Ladies
Chat.
and gentlemen,
Yeah.
this is a semifinal match of
Is it?
Speedgaming Live 2023 between Megawatt and ObscureLifeForm.
All right. Thanks for grounding us again here.
Yes.
All right.
Shout out to my co-coms, Sinak and Zafkil. Shout out to our tracker, Linkforce, who's just off screen. But yeah, no.
Do you regret this?
No.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to say yes? Like, what are you trying to do to me?
For the comedic value, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I am definitely slapping people off screen. I don't know who you are, but I know where you sat.
All right, we're working on crystal number 6 now. Gonna do Vidi. You know, not gonna be a difficult fight at all. We've got Cape, we've got a bow, we have Tempered Sword. This won't be hard at all. Obscure getting the spooky mire.
Don't do it.
Thank you. I was waiting. Like
knew you were doing it,
one
so
of the
that I couldn't
specific
stop you.
times that you guys needed to ooh is when I talk about something being spooky and only one person oohed.
Oh yeah.
We're never getting back on comms.
No,
We're banned.
that's okay. I enjoyed this time with you guys.
Look, Megawatt's face is like, oh, that was exactly right.
I say, yeah. Actually, something to note. You know, not the most insignificant thing, but the arrow count does come into play a little bit here.
Comes to play a lot of it, actually.
Yeah. Although, I mean, you know, I imagine we're probably going to find arrows in GT.
Probably, yeah.
All right, crystal number 6 for both runners, but this is going to be a little bit of where the unfortunate timing for Megawatt comes in. He's probably going to go to Pyramid Fairy at this point. I can't imagine we're doing Swamp
Yeah,
first.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
go in the swamp here.
That's
And that just isn't time that he can give.
And I think when he
to
sees
Obscure.
that bow, he might not be feeling too catchy.
Yeah, like the head bop and the feeling good, he'll see the bow. He'll pick it up because silvers. But you're not going to be thinking to yourself. Suddenly you're like, oh, this trip into Thieves Town now became worthless.
Yeah, Obscure's been smirking for a bit, actually, so I imagine
Yeah.
he's probably feeling pretty okay.
Megawatt, yeah. Megawatt going up to K45 has not done this yet because we had the mirror in Ice Palace, which gave us that flute over in Lake Highlight Island.
Yeah, at this point, it's just one item.
Yeah.
It blocks only one thing. So.
Yep. And Obscure, you know, noting the fact that he doesn't have a hookshot, can't just hookshot across, has to take, you know, the slightly longer path over here.
I am actually really impressed earlier. Like, I just came back to me, like, how clean those hovers were from Obscure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is, you know, obviously Obscure's a main tournament champion, so like you come to expect this kind of quality play from him.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you know that even if his routing might not be the most conventional style of routing, it still is a route that, you know, is thorough, hits areas that most runners maybe not go to immediately, but still cleans up well enough to where, you know, you can cover, you know, some slight differences.
Also-
But even then, I would say Obscure's routing this heat has actually been very, very regular.
Yeah, it's more like also playing to win condition and playing to situations which gives him a way out,
Yeah.
a win condition, and against players that maybe he. And this is I have no idea how Obscure rates Megawatt, right? But like, oh baby, gonna get
Ooh,
the-
okay. We're doing Swamp before Pyramid Fairy.
all right. Yeah,
But
this
yeah,
is
sorry, going back to
Yeah,
this. That's right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, this is going to help him out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I mean, it's still at this point probably going to be a little, too little to like. So at this point, you kind of think, okay, are there routing differences in GT that could come into play?
Yeah.
But I think we're at a little bit of a point to where Obscure, I'm pretty sure, does the Stalfos room over to Compass room. You know, the DM strats as they're called. I think he's got a big enough fleet to where he can still do that and still be ahead of Megawatt going back towards left side.
Yeah, we are at the point where it would take a significant execution flub from Obscure. So.
Agreed.
And getting those arrows, so as we were talking about.
But this is not the only race happening between, for A Link to the Past. Stay tuned. Stay right here on this channel because right after this, we're going to have our other semifinal match between Error and Enjembra.
That is correct. That is planned still for 2 p.m., which will be about 30 minutes from now. So don't change that Twitch channel.
Megawott going to be able to save a little bit of time by being able to actually do the Specky clip. And I'm assuming he's going to go south. He'll pick up his ice rod right away because you just want to do the checks as quick as possible.
Yep.
So this will be go mode for Megawatt.
Yeah, we'll see him quick swap to mirror and get out of here.
Yep. You're going to just say goodbye. But again, he's a full going through up the mountain, going through TR behind Obscure at this point. And that is go mode for Megawatt.
The look on his face.
I'd almost pick up those arrows. If I'm Megawatt, I'm picking up those arrows real quick. That's actually very good awareness on his part.
Yep.
And he's laughing at it too, which is the best part.
All right, Trinex. Sinek, I know there's not really a bot in the Speed Gaming channel anymore, but after we kill Trinex right here, what is something that Speed Gaming chat likes to do?
Well, there is a game that we like to play. I guess it involves numbers between 1 and 22.
Can you list every single number that we can use?
No, you
I V I X.
Oh my!
X, X,
I regret everything that I just did. I regret so badly that I just did that.
Remember that question I asked you earlier about do you regret this? Do you want to change that? Was that your final answer?
7 crystals for ObscureLifeForm. I'm going to be heading into GT. Like I said, chat probably putting in a bunch of numbers. Like I said, 22 checks.
Put in locations.
Yeah.
Getting lazy.
All right, good. We got some Roman numerals coming through. I much appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, 22 checks looking for the big key. Could be anywhere in the basement that isn't the big chest. And then it's just going to be the climb into Ganon. Yeah. So this is, timing-wise, this has been a pretty solid seed. It started off looking potentially really jet because we had a lot of good items. We had early Darkwood access, but it definitely slowed down when it came down to, again, shockingly, an Ice Rod hunt, and for Megawatt, a hook shot, which that hook's a horrible hook shot location, by the way.
Right, and knowing that it was basically one extra item for go, and to be fair, like we have been saying, Obscure. He is in the lead. If there's a world where suddenly your fingers don't, whatever you hovers do between your elbow and your fingers to make that work, like he may not pull it off.
It's true, but we did see Obscure very nicely.
So we've had one check, right?
Yep.
All right.
And you just
saw
saw
very selfish.
and you just saw him.
Yeah, just hover that as well.
IV. V.
Thanks. I'm just gonna let you do this.
Yeah.
Keep going here.
I can't really stop you. You are in fact an admin.
Sometimes it's good to be the king. Anyway,
Oh my good.
Thank you so much for
the
that.
II.
All right, Mufasa, chill.
No, wait. We've seen The Lion King. We know how that ends. We do not want that to happen to Sinek.
All right, so what check are we on?
VII.
There we go. Bottle situation as well. I think Obscure actually has the blue. And Megawatt might be bottleless also.
Obscure definitely used a bottle on.
He used a red.
He's a red. Okay.
Because he did Fire Rod.
VIII.
Thank you.
XIV. XV.
You definitely added a V in there at some point.
Oh yeah, I did. X. Well, we're on 11, right?
You were the one counting.
Yeah. That was not your only job, but that was the job. Okay, so I did see the blue as he was flipping through. So that's another thing as well.
Link Force, by the way, confirming that we are on 11.
We're on 11. All right. So XI. All right. All right. We're back on track here.
And Megawatt's not really going to deviate as well, I think. from-
No,
yeah.
he does the same route here, so there's not going to be any time gain or loss.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think there's any reason for Megawatt to think that he's
think
behind
otherwise,
enough
yeah.
that he needs to
Right, and that was the thing. If he saw that bow, I think that maybe that might have actually changed sort of the calculus on that. Like,
maybe a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, for as far as he knows, it's just been bow and the thieves.
XII.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is not a
That's not
strat
the
I've
way-
seen
yeah.
for using that red boomerang.
It's
Interesting.
not the way that I would have done it, but you know what? Cool. Yeah, it's sort of quiet on our end too. It's like at this point, just where's the big key?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you're not.
A little surprised we're not hovering this. I mean,
He's
it's
got to keep his fingernails fresh.
XIII.
Thank you.
Megawatt now heading into GT.
I really hope it's not just a tile room big key. Like, and not much to the dismay of chat wanting full-blown chaos, but
Yeah, I mean, it'd also be the second trick
XIV.
seed.
yeah.
XV.
All right. If you guess XV in chat, not 15, but XV, it has to be XV.
Exactly,
You
right?
guessed XV in chat. You're a bot.
All right, we are climbing on Obscure side. He has shown no issue at all with any of his hovers. He's gotten them all super clean, so I have little reason to suspect that would change, for Aga or for Moldorp too. Excuse me.
Yeah, and again too, like having the bottle as well. Like I'm not worried about his magic situation. He's probably not worried about his magic situation.
Yeah,
His arrow count's solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the thing. It was like, what significant event would it take for this gap to close? And honestly, I don't see it. Like,
No.
I think,
I mean, Obscure has played, like, both runners have played really well. There's not been any significant, execution flub or even routing flub. Like, both runners have played exquisite this season.
they've played to their outs.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
This actually, for Obscure, has definitely paid in his favor. So, yeah. It really does come down to what happens at the top of GT, which I know we've been talking about this, and for people who are actually here in Speed Gaming that don't know, if you've never played Link to the Past, there's actually a gap. Once you beat the second to final, or third to final boss in the game, Moldor, who shows up again, there's a gap across which normally you're supposed to hookshot. And some gamers decided that they instead would find tech to, Obscure my guy, would find tech to get across that. And there's two different ways to do it. You intend the hookshot, but you can hover, which basically requires some amount of, I don't know the full specifics, nor do I ever care to learn, to make that happen. Or there's another one which is even more.
As I said, Sinek, you gave a tutorial here for those who are interested.
I
in it.
attempted.
But yeah, basically it's a sequence break across
Yes.
a very large gap.
Yeah,
Yep. There's two primary ways of doing it.
almost.
Oh, that was.
Ooh.
So what? So what happened there was Obscure, being low on health, powdered the anti-fairy, which causes a change in how the land modes come out, like their timing. And so he specifically set it up to where they all came out at the same time and tried to put together, basically a double spin to still get the one cycle.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work out, but still very cool.
Oh.
Yup.
That is a big ooh.
I say that is a really nice full magic for him.
He had a blue potion, but now you can avoid using it.
Mm-hmm.
Megawatt about to get his big key.
Yep.
Here we go.
for him, it'll be the last check, naturally.
Yeah, of course,
So, big key for Megawott. He'll now begin his climb. Obscure going to be doing these checks looking for silvers. We know he's not going to find them because they're in Thieves Town.
yeah. Mega will probably do the same.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, another thing Megawatt's going to have to do is that he's going to have to kill the mini Helmasaur because he only has one key.
Yeah, oh, true, yeah.
So, he's got a little bit more incentive, I guess, maybe to check those checks. Ooh, okay. So, I don't want to speak too loudly this because I mean, yes, the players are here, have the white noise. If you're Megawatt right now, and you start hearing, do you maybe start feeling the potential of a hover? Are you now scared for your life because you're thinking, oh my god, he's hovering World War II?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was terrifying hearing other people.
The way you execute a hover, right? Like it will move the table a little bit if you're doing it right. I mean, maybe the way he has it positioned.
Gets it that time.
There you go. You won't necessarily hear it, but you may feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling it, then you know
what's
that tells Megawatt exactly where Obscure is. And then he knows he's in trouble. But, like you just saw, Obscure got the hover. His first probably real potential sign of nerves, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably not feeling great given some of the items anyway.
I don't see any reason to think that Obscure feels that his route has been bad.
No, not Obscure necessarily. I think
Megawott.
Aye. Aye.
Oh my god. I was wondering why you were saying the
I.
Yeah,
Maybe fourth?
Can the sign at crowd control pay for, like, hexadecimal?
Beautiful triple there at the end. How much
X0.
No.
X? No.
No.
We're V.
0x06. There you go. It's easy to do that until you get to.
I am genuinely impressed.
X0.
He did hex.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did a thing.
110.
I
That's
regret.
binary.
I regret doing
my.
it. Yeah, I regret saying what I said.
Look, Cynic, I'm the person when we were doing the PogChamp weights, I sent you a TXT file, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, didn't I have to translate all that? Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, it's a TXT file.
Are-
Ganon fight for
Yeah,
Obscure.
we're on Ganon. We are pig roasting.
Yeah, Obscure
might
not
be
even going to
good.
go for the 1-1 at this point.
Yeah.
A little surprising because, like, you don't know where your opponent is. Like, you essentially were okay with throwing away 12 seconds right there.
Yeah.
Does have a blue potion, so he can afford
Yeah.
to burn through some magic here.
Yeah.
Don't have silver, so we'll be doing some spins.
Yeah, I mean, and look, he's tournament champion. He knows how to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, this is
money on the line. This man has performed before, so
Yep.
this fish has performed
And
before.
in the crazy event that we have a much tighter race, the Ganon warps are seeded. Like, you have the same Ganon pattern for the first one, only once you would fall that you would get it. So just 12 spins to win at this point for Obscure, and it'll be a grand final appearance for him.
I've already lost count of these, probably for the best.
You can go to the chat box.
Is it 4?
Yeah. Megawott on Aga 2. So we're now potentially in the realm of, if a fall happens, we could be right back to a tie race. But again, this is a main tournament champion. You don't expect that.
So we're up to 6 spins? We're about halfway through.
It's not been the cleanest fight here. Usually you try to get triples, but
This
one more
could
set of
be
triples right here should be enough. Oh,
okay, we're off by
Well,
one
there you
time.
go. Get your GGs in chat because ObscureLifeForm is going to be moving on to grand finals of Speedgaming Live 2023 for a link to the best. Going to be going up for that big prize. What a race between these two runners.
Indeed. Quite the race, yeah. And ObscureLifeForm finishes this race in 1 hour.
That's the perfect Triforce text. That was the best Triforce text that could have happened.
What?
Some back and forth.
And GG's to Megawatt, by the way. You know, basically dropping for the Ganon fight too. Like GG's to both of our runners, by the way. Like let's make sure to give. So we're gonna get our runners in here for an interview. Oh, we got to move over. Wow, you mean this isn't about us? I'm shamed. It's hard to hear you guys in these headphones. You know that, right?
I'm getting yelled at by the crowd over here.
I know. All right, yo, Obscure, Megawatt, GG's to both of you.
GG's, man.
GG's.
I mean, the big point of this seat is Obscure. You didn't get the hook shot, and you hovered. You didn't get the hook shot, you hovered, and that essentially gave you enough time because hook shot was a misery mire.
Hookshot was Misery Mire?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I thought I got both items. Phew.
No, it was in cutscene chess, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So kind of talk about how kind of your routing, because you guys did so much at the start that was the same thing, and then really it kind of came down to once you were done with Pod Eastern getting nothing, you know, Megawatt, you went over to Thieves Town and got the bow. Obscure, you went to Swamp and kind of got the ice sword. So kind of talk about why you chose Swamp over say Thieves Town or other checks before.
Well, firstly, there's only one runner in the world that could, at 1 hour into the seed, route in the damn chests with Hookshotless Swamp. So I thought, let's go for it.
Yes, you did.
Yes. So, I mean, at that point, again, like, I didn't want to mess up too much. Like, I was on a bit of a route, but then when I was starting to run low on items, I was like, okay, let's just kind of calm down a little bit and go and check the dams, because I knew I'd left it for a long time. I was like, if this is something I don't have to worry about, Hookshot the Swamp. But I was like, there's a few items in there. And I was like, Thieves Town, do I really want to do that commitment to go to the back? Hera was playing on my mind quite a lot. I was thinking of doing it when I was up there, but decided to go to Turtle Rock and kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just kind of, I was in the area, so I dipped in there, saw the ice rod. I needed bow and bombos at that point, and so I was like, okay, Pyramid Fairy's dead. I might as well just go and check the Pyramid Fairy up to Catfish and Zora, and then obviously found the second bow in Pyramid Fairy.
And that was honestly one of the biggest things right there, is that you getting the second bow, because, you know, Megawatt, you didn't know that the other bow was there. Like, that felt at that point that, like, okay, now Obscure's in the driver's seat because he doesn't have to go into Thieves Town. But, I mean, you both played amazingly. Megawatt, kind of talk us about, like, your route, how you were feeling kind of throughout the seed.
This seed was like, it threw a lot at you very early on, so you had a lot of options. It felt like you had a lot because you had like Mitts, Hammer, Kane, you got Fire Rod, but really you were kind of only like shoehorned into a few like good options, and then the rest was just kind of awful. At least until I got my mirror, then obviously like it kind of opened up a bit. Got to go to the mountain, get absolutely nothing for it, and then it was right back to the nonsense.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was just like trying to clean up like my remaining overworld. I had a bunch of mirror checks. I had the rest of Thieves Town. And I figured like, okay, I'll just do Thieves Town, grab purple chest, head my way down towards Swamp, and if I get that far without finding something, then just dive at that point. In case you haven't noticed, I don't like Hera very much.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you both did the same thing. You both ran past Hera, didn't even bother stepping in foot. Obscure, did you know you skip Bonk Rocks?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yes. No, I definitely went back there. Yeah, I knew I skipped Bonk Rocks. I usually don't go there until I find a glove, but then Dark World open, found the mirror, found the flute.
Seth's faces.
Bless your heart. You are a creature, and I respect you.
Yeah, like I said, just you can't predict my routing because it's just wild sometimes.
And we were talking about that, like about how, you know, being a main tournament winner, it's hard facing you because, one, you're so good, but two, your routing is not traditional. Like, you know, Megawatt, you are generally a little bit more of a traditional router. You know, Obscure, you're not.
Yeah,
so
I was looking on thesaurus.com for ways to describe how you play so I can keep it reasonable. But no, I mean, but at the same time, too, it's definitely playing to, I think, your play style affords you opportunities to play the way that you want to, and also, like, you feel comfortable doing it as well. Yeah.
I think the best way to really describe it is I go looking for a terrible item and then kind of lean on that.
Yeah.
Once I find that item, so in this case it was Ice Rod, I was like, okay, now I can just go and do normal things, but I look for that. So on really, really good seeds and jet seeds, I get absolutely demolished because everything's just on the path, but on seeds like this where that Ice Rod was so out the way, I just was able to lean on it quite heavily.
Yeah.
And, dam into Ice Rod. Yeah.
Damn into Swamp Palace.
Down into the swamp, hookshot the swamp.
Yeah. No, I think I've covered everything. Do you guys have anything else?
Ooh.
Yeah. Were you guys hearing the ooze?
We were.
Okay. We were.
No. Oh, no.
You guys are going to give me a stress-induced heart attack during that.
Yeah. Well, like what they found, and then you'd pick something up, and it's like they'll go, "Ooh!" I was like, "That's the single arrow, though." So what are they doing out there? I was like, "At least they're having fun."
Yeah. To be fair, at first it was like because again, like so much was thrown at y'all. It was like that was happening, and then it was like just heart pieces.
Yeah. Then it very much became a thing with our crowd. And I'm glad it got to the point where like you guys couldn't really inflect on anything because of all the ooze that were going on.
Nothing was given away. It was
Yeah.
impossible.
Yes.
Yeah. But Zaf, do you have any final questions?
I have nothing.
All right. I think we're gonna have Sinek here being presenting one of our third place trophies. Do you need the headset? Yeah. Okay.
All right. Hi, I'm Sinek again. Megawatt, thank you for attending SGL and did a really great job getting as far as you did into this tournament. And here is your trophy for third place. Let's give Megawatt a hand here. Ooh, give him some ooze. Yeah. Ooh. And we will see ObscureLifeForm here at 4 o'clock, same channel. So everybody just stay tuned. We've got another race here coming. Like right now, right? Yep. Arier versus Ninjembro. So stay tuned. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And good luck to you in the finals, Olaf.
Thank you. And in the chat, at Megawatt.
At Megawatt.
Get him in.
Ooh,
Had to slip that
Megawatt.
last one in there, huh?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.